Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter Show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it right here. My name is Eric Lorda, and I'm here with my co-host, Joe Habib. We got a great show for you today, and if you want to give us a call, 323-870-3857. Let's get started with it. Beeb, Don King, King Vision pay-per-view. Let me tell you how bad this pay-per-view was. I texted Beeb. Beeb had fallen asleep during the pay-per-view, all right? He fell asleep. He had to go catch it some other time. He fell asleep prior to the main event or maybe during the main event. I don't know. That's how, listen, and you know what? I don't blame him at all. I was almost there. I was almost there with you. It was, if you saw one round in that main event, you saw every round. Blair Cobbs versus Adrien Broner. Beeb, did you happen to score this fight? I don't know. I know you saw it, but I don't know. Did you score it?
I went back and scored it. I think I gave Broner 2 rounds.
Really?
Yeah, 2 rounds.
Wow. I gave Broner 0 rounds.
Yeah.
0. Like, I didn't have him. I couldn't even find a spot to give him a round.
Yeah,
it was that bad. In case you're wondering if it was that bad, it was that bad.
Yeah.
It was bad. Blair Cobbs wins an easy unanimous decision over Adrien Broner, 97-91, 96-93 twice. How in the world they had it 96-93? You want to talk about getting rid of some judges? Those were the judges you get rid of. 96-93. I have a hard time with 97-93. I'll be honest with you. I mean, what rounds could you have possibly given that fool? He comes in. I had it 100-89 for Cobbs. It was a complete whitewash. It wasn't even close.
Very one-sided.
You know, I didn't give him a round. I don't even see a round he could have won because you can't win a fight if you don't throw punches. That's kind of the whole minutia that we go through here. You have to throw punches. That's kind of what boxing is. You throw hands. When you don't throw hands, you can't what, Beeb? You can't win the round.
Yeah, went around.
You're not Willie Pep. You know, you can't do it. You got to throw punches. I've criticized Broner for years for he's got to be more active during fights. And it wasn't just Broner. It was everybody that kind of came out of that same area. And I don't know if it's a Mike Stafford thing. I don't know if it's I don't know what it was. But, you know, Broner, Rasheed Warren, and there was a couple of others that came out of that whole system almost. And they just did not throw punches.
All counter punchers.
All counter punchers.
Yeah. And Floyd was a counter puncher, but, you know, he would throw a lot of jabs. He would take the lead when he had to, you know.
Right. Okay, so you're right. And Floyd was a counter puncher, and we can look at like Floyd and Purnell, 2 all-star counter punchers. You'll never find, I mean, those are world-class counter punchers. But if you watch them fight, especially earlier in their careers, they're winning fights. They're winning. They're busier. They're just busier, you know, or they're more accurate, or they put in more punishment. You know, when they touch you, you know, they may not have the power to knock you out, but they definitely get your attention.
Yeah, go back to one of the fights with Pernell Whitaker, that Diabelli's Hurtado fight.
Yeah.
Where he was losing the fight because he was kind of laying back.
Yeah.
And then he kind of saw it slipping away, and then he just starts just stepping to Hurtado. And then that last sequence, he's like, boom, boom. And then like Hurtado went through the ropes. That was like, that was a vicious knockout. Like that dude went primal right there.
Look at
rest in peace.
Look at round 7 of the Chavez fight. Look at rounds 3 and 4 of the Chavez Whitaker fight. You know, Chavez first 2 rounds completely just chased him around the ring, and next thing you know, Whitaker started to put in shots, slow but sure, put in shots, and started to equalize that momentum. You know, so Cobbs knocked him down in the second round with a beautiful combination. And look at left, right, it was a right, left, right on the button, man. Broner was hurt. But, you know, Broner knows how to defend, and he pretty much did that the rest of the fight. Awful performance by Broner. Now, there is a claim that he hurt his hand on the way down in that fight, or he hurt his elbow or something like
He
that.
hurt his hand. I think there's a couple things. His hand, his shoulder.
I think Ford said, Calvin Ford, right? Calvin Ford said after the fight, because he was training Broner, he said after the fight that it was his elbow. He said he thought it was his hand too, but it was his elbow, Broner's elbow.
Okay.
And it made him,
all right.
I get it. But I don't care. Because he still wasn't throwing punches before that, and he wasn't throwing. I know it was only the second round, but he's got a history of this, of not throwing punches.
He
right?
does.
He's just got a history of it. So, this should really, I'll be honest with you, man, it was really kind of sad to watch. And this should really be his last fight. He didn't throw any punches. And let me tell you, the other thing he didn't have that's completely gone is not only his footwork, is, he stands there. He can come forward, but he can't move like he used to.
No, his speed's gone. His timing's gone. Everything's gone. Yeah.
The upper body movement. You watch that fight, there was no upper body movement by Broner. He had his hands up. The only way he would block a punch, he wasn't slipping anything. He had his hands up, and they would touch his hands. And he was not evading punches at all. He was taking every one of them on his guard. Wasn't slipping anything. No upper body movement. From the waist up, there was no movement at all. That's why Cobbs caught him so much. You know what's
funny, Eric? And maybe this is cliche or not, but it's like anything in life you do, you got to love what you do, right? And you can always tell people who fight, and again, this may sound stupid because obviously everybody fights for money.
Sure.
But some guys actually enjoy fighting. Like, you could say what you want about Tyson Fury, but when he's in there with the challenge, he really loves fighting. Like, he gets up for the big fights. He never just lays, like he laid a dud against Ngannou, with all due respect. But when he's in there with the big names, I really believe this guy loves to fight. He doesn't have to do it anymore, but he just loves to fight. I think he realizes that if he didn't fight, that he'd have nothing to do, and he'd be, maybe he'd be doing something that he shouldn't be doing, whatever. His mental state wouldn't be intact, however you want to look at it. I just don't think Broner ever really loved fighting. It sounds stupid coming from me, because who am I to say that, because I'm not a fighter, but you could just tell when someone does it just for the money, and I just think that even throughout his career, he was always distracted, sidetracked, outside the ring. I just never believed or thought he lived the life of a fighter, mentally and physically. And I think it caught up with him.
It catches up. When you're young, you can get away with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But when you start to get a little bit older, you can't get away with that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
It's not the same. Your body doesn't react the same. I'll tell you what, man. And if the people around him, I saw one of his friends or whatever, it was one of his friends said, "Oh, he got robbed and they robbed us, blah, blah, blah." Dude, I mean, come on, man. Like, I understand you're his friend and everything like that. Anybody who cares about this guy needs to have this be his last fight. Needs to sit him down and say, "Look, there's a lot of other things you can do, because you're right though. Like, listen, if you're involved in this to this level, you got to love what you're doing. They love it. They like to fight.
Anthony Joshua loves to, like, I don't care. People shit on it. When Anthony Joshua had his ups and downs, took some losses. Again, everyone takes losses in life, but this guy loves to fight. These are people that don't need to do it anymore. These guys have enough money, they could very easily retire. But I think Joshua loves to fight. I think Fury loves to fight. I'm not so sure Wilder loves to fight anymore. I mean,
I think it was pretty clear he doesn't.
Yeah, he started
fairly clear.
He started, looking a little shaky there, and
he looked
just by
awful in that last fight. He looked
just
horrible.
by the even after that second Fury fight, you say to yourself, a lot of things he said, I don't know. I just don't think he had it in him anymore. I think that Fury took a lot out of him, and I don't think he could ever have gotten it back. Some guys just take your soul. I think Fury took his soul.
And I think Maidana took Broner's. I really do, because
Maidana
he was
took
never
over
the same
slow,
after
too,
that
yeah.
fight.
Never the same after that
He
fight.
went
Never.
completely into shell mode. He's completely defensive after that. Yeah. So not good. Remember Camacho? Remember Hector Camacho?
Camacho,
He
same
was
thing.
first coming up, and he
Another
fought
guy.
Edwin Rosario, and he beat Edwin Rosario, but he was never the same after that.
Never the
fight.
same after that fight.
Never the same after that fight.
Yeah.
Reese Mack says Blair the Flair sent AB's tooth into retirement. Yeah, in that second round, man, he got popped, busted his front tooth out and everything. So, yeah, man, I don't know. Like I said, I hope they sit down with him. I hope his people sit down with him, his parents and managers and everybody, and says, look, man, enough is enough, because there's no point in going on, because now, like, who can he possibly fight? You know what I mean?
Nobody.
Realistically,
I like Blair Cobbs. Blair Cobbs he's a decent fighter.
Too.
But
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he's a top 10 guy. He may be ranked in the top 10 of the sanctioning bodies, but 147's getting thin, but I don't know.
And he's a good fighter.
He's a good fighter, but
he's also a little long in the tooth too. He's an older guy.
Yeah, he's up there, and
so man,
he's at a certain level. And no disrespect to him, I like Blair Cobbs a lot.
I think he's great for the sport.
He's not supposed to run through AB like that.
Should have been promoted better. To me anyway, he should have been promoted a lot better than he has been. But we all know his name, and because he's had a lot of good fights, or a couple of good fights, and we like him, good character. And afterwards, you saw him. Broner left the ring quickly. He didn't get interviewed. Then he left the stadium. Apparently, I guess not the stadium, but the little music hall or whatever Don King was renting out. So he left there. They showed Cobbs in his dressing room afterwards. He was talking to Calvin Ford and the trainers and everything like that. And he said that, just nothing but respect for Broner, nothing but respect for everybody in there. And he seems like such a nice guy, and, you could tell when he's up there, he's doing his persona or whatever, but when he's behind, seems like a completely cool guy, And like I said, we've talked to him, and he, just a good guy. But I really do hope that somebody, takes Broner aside and says,
"Guys, they got to tell him.
He's going to get hurt, especially if he goes against one of the young guys. He's going to get hurt, man. And it's not,
I don't want to make light of this, but someone tweeted out, I hope Broner had invested in a good Roth IRA, had some investments in Steve.
My guess.
Steve Kim
I had to guess. I don't know.
Yeah, Steve Kim quote tweeted the guy, and he goes, "I don't think Adrien Broner is a Roth IRA type kind of guy,
type of dude." Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
he's probably betting it all on the Celtics tonight. Who knows, man?
I couldn't help but laugh when he said that.
It's insane. And then they had that Michael Hunter, and I think was it Cassius? Was it Cassius Chaney or something like that?
Yeah, that was a horrible fight.
That was horrible too. And Michael Hunter just smashed him. I guess Chaney was supposed to be an up and coming guy or something like that.
Yeah,
he didn't. He looked horrible.
No, it's
and
funny.
I was shocked. You know what I was shocked out?
Yeah.
I didn't know Michael Hunter was still fighing.
Yeah,
that's why I was like, "You got to be kidding me, really?"
Yeah,
and then the way he waxed that guy.
Yeah, he's been in there for a while too.
I was like I said, man, I was shocked he was still fighting. I was
surprised
like, wow.
he's still.
He said he's still around.
He's got a lot of miles on him,
like Spider Rico or something,
Spider Rico. That's hilarious.
Overall, it was $40 for that pay-per-view, Beeb. That was just complete nonsense for a pay-per-view. And you know what's the worst part is that you're watching this and I'm realizing how far the mighty have fallen. Because I was excited for the main event, I wasn't, at like $40 for the main event though. Come on, but even in the build up as far as the card underneath wasn't great. The announcing was terrible. They didn't even have punch stat on here. No. I didn't see any of the punch stats. When was the last time you saw a fight without it?
They had Carl King, Don King's son, doing the commentary. Awful. Christy Martin, she was okay.
Why? You know why?
Yeah, it was the budget.
Yeah.
It's funny too. I wonder why Blair Cobbs was let go by Golden Boy. I mean, he had a big victory over Maurice Hooker in his last fight. And that was the last fight he did with Golden Boy. I don't know why they let him go. I mean,
they're Golden Boy. I don't know. I don't get it. The Blair Witch cast a spell on AB. That's right, the Blair Witch. But overall, yeah, the card was not good. The main event was not good. And hopefully that's I don't know. So hopefully we don't have to see too many Don King cards unless they go. How old is Don King? Like 90 some years old?
93, I think. I think he's
Is he really?
I think he's the same age as Bob Arum.
It sounds stupid. But he actually looks good for 93. He looks the same as he did back in the 80s or something.
Seeing him move around and stuff. No disrespect. I love Bob, but he actually looks a little bit more chipper than Bob.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with those two.
Or 91. I thought he was the same age as he was 90.
how old is
Bob, I think Bob is 93. Let's double check. I thought they were the same age, him and Bob Arum, but I could be wrong.
92.
All right, he's 92. Okay.
Yeah, how old is Bob Arum?
I think Bob is 93.
92. He's 92 as well.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, I always thought they were the same age. Yeah, they're both 92. Okay. Fair enough. Thanks, guys.
There you go. JC, we'll tell you that in a little bit. We'll get to that in news. The rumor's true about Oscar not paying. Yeah, we'll talk about that. ESPN, the other card last night, Xander Zayas versus Patrick Teixeira, 10 rounds, junior middleweights. Zayas dominated Teixeira, 190 twice and 99-91. Tim Bradley, was very critical of Zayas' performance. I mean, he dominated. He went the distance. He went the 10 rounds. Very tough guy. The guy's only been knocked out once, and that was a long time ago.
Long time ago.
He's only had one.
That was against Curtis Stevens. That guy's a murderous puncher.
Oh, yeah. He is. So was Tim Bradley right about this or what?
I was thinking about this, right?
They're both in better shape than Eric.
Let's not showing some respect, Pete. I mean, Eric
so
is
rude.
Eric
so
takes
rude.
You should see Eric, doing his jujitsu, man.
Yeah.
Throwing his son around, man.
What about that?
Throw down, man.
Yeah. What about Tony?
I'd love to see one of you guys approach Eric in the streets, man. See if you'd be talking to him like that.
Yeah, I carry a switchblade.
You know what it is, Eric?
What's up?
We just gotta accept that people are who they are, right? And this guy's never gonna be a Miguel Cotto, right?
No.
And that doesn't mean he's a bad fighter. He's never gonna be that dynamic one-punch knockout explosive guy. That's just not who he is, right? So I think we have to accept that. He won every round. Let's talk about the good things. His jab was very sharp, right?
Won every round, every single one.
He's a very fluid combination puncher. He sets his shots up well, places his shots well. Good balance, good movement, and knows how to cut off the ring, right? And the first time fighting a southpaw, and Patrick Teixeira is not a slouch. We've already said that. Castano went the distance with him. Kurbanoff went the distance with him. These are good solid fighters, and Castano is a former world champion, right? So, I think it was a solid performance. Zayas is still a work in progress. He's a solid fighter, but he may win a title. He may not win a title. I think he eventually will. I think he eventually will win a title, but
you just don't think he's that good, no?
I think he's good, but everyone's looking for that next superstar, Eric, and sometimes they
rush to judgment.
They just rush to judgment. He's not Trinidad, and he's not
especially from Puerto Rico or Mexico.
Yeah.
They're always looking for the next big thing. Yeah.
He's not Trinidad, and he's not Cotto, but that's not a bad thing. You could still he'll probably win a title. Will he be like a Terrence Crawford win titles in multiple weight classes, become undisputed? We have to wait and see with that. He'll probably win a title, but again, he just may be a solid, good fighter. He may not be a superstar. We don't know yet, but he's still a good fighter. So that's the thing.
Yeah,
I think Bradley wants him to be a superstar. He wants him to be a Felix Trinidad. He wants him to be a Miguel Cotto.
Right.
He wants him to be an Edwin Rosario, and he's just not that. And we just have to accept that. I think the bar was set a little too high for this guy.
Yeah, I think you may be right. Yeah, I think you may be right. But I mean, he's still young. He's 17. What was he? He was signed when he was 17 at Top Rank.
Yeah, he's 21. So
You know,
we'll see what happens.
Bruce Shushu Carrington versus Brian DeGracia. Shushu Carrington stops Garcia in the 8th. Carrington did everything and anything he wanted to do in this fight, man. DeGracia was in way over his head. He was a late replacement from what I understand. Naoya Inoue was in town and was watching the Carrington fight. There's talk that they may try to put these two together. Beeb, what am I missing here? Because, you know, I like Carrington, no question about it. He's good. Is it too soon for him to step up to an Inoue?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah, you don't want to ruin the kid.
That's what I thought too. That's exactly what I thought too.
That's a little bit of a stretch.
I mean, yeah. I mean, and he looks good. He's 9. He's got 9. I think he's 9 or 10 fights in now. He looks great. But yeah, when they're talking about him and Inoue, I'm like, wow, really? Already? And the kid's got talent, you know, but I don't know if I'd put him in there with him right now.
I wouldn't do it.
Rocky Austin said Subriel Matias is the closest thing to Trinidad right now. Possibly. He's a power hitter, man. A guy can hit.
Maybe. But Trinidad was just versatile, man. Like he was a little quicker than Matias. He had more size. He was probably a better outside. Trinidad was this was a guy that was a good outside fighter, good mid-range fighter, and a good inside fighter. Super Matias is more of a inside to mid-range guy. I don't think he had the outside. I don't think he had the jab. Trinidad had a very good jab. He had a hard jab. He could knock people down with jabs. Yeah. So Trinidad was special.
I always remember that Yuri Boy Campus knockout that he had.
Yeah.
And then that 4th round, it looked like his head exploded, man.
Boom. I picked him to beat. I thought he was going to knock out Hopkins. I really did.
I thought he was going to beat Hopkins. I didn't think he was going to knock out Hopkins. I knew Hopkins was very defensive, and I thought it was going to be a rougher fight than anybody thought it was going to be, but I thought Trinidad wins that fight.
I think Hopkins at that time, if I'm not mistaken, was like 36, 37. I think it was 37.
Like that. Who was the guy that he beat? Keith, was it?
Hopkins beat Keith Holmes and
William Joppy.
He beat Trinidad, knocked out William Joppy. And
William Joppy was the guy I thought was the best of that crew.
Yeah,
I thought he was the best of that crew.
Joppy, when Trinidad knocked out Joppy, and I think
I was floored.
I think it was 4 rounds. If I have to,
4 rounds, I believe. Yeah,
4 rounds.
I was floored.
I was like, Jesus Christ, man. And then after that, I was like, because I seen Hopkins go rounds with Joppy. Like it was a tough fight, you know.
Yeah.
So I said to myself, this was back in the day when I did do combat math a lot. I based off of that, I was like, there's no way that Hopkins is going to beat this guy. This guy's on the rise. He's got momentum, man. He's young. Hopkins is getting old. And when he did that, I was shocked, bro. I got to be honest. I was surprised. A lot of people said, no. A couple people I know at the time they were picking Hopkins, but I just didn't see it at the time.
Yeah, I didn't, like I said, man, I didn't pick Hopkins. I don't know too many people that did, but yeah, man, I get it. I get it, man. That's for sure. Yeah, Joppy, Reese Mack said Joppy was so overwhelmed against Trinidad. He was
overwhelmed. Yeah.
And that's I didn't see that one coming. I really didn't. And I knew he was good. And like I said, man, I knew he was good. But I thought Joppy was like the cream of that division at that point. Yeah. I thought it was gonna be a really close fight. Remember that was the one where they booed the national anthem. You remember that?
Yeah, it was horrible.
That was horrible, man. Right in New York, booed the national anthem. And then a couple months later, that's when 9/11 hit and everything like that. And everything calmed down. But
I get upset when any national anthem's booed. No national anthem.
Of course you do. Yeah, absolutely.
Special respect to countries, man.
Yeah. All right. So let's see here from Puerto Rico, June 15th. Subriel Matias versus Liam Paro, 12 rounds for Matias's IBF junior welterweight title. This is on DAZN. Undercard is Angel Fierro versus Alfredo Santiago, 10 rounds, junior welterweights. So there you go. That's the card from DAZN. Now, on Prime Video, June 15th, Las Vegas. Gervonta Tank Davis versus Frank Martin, 12 rounds for Davis's WBA lightweight title. Underneath that one, we got David Benavidez versus Alexander Gvozdyk, 12 rounds for the vacant WBC interim light heavyweight title. Gary Antoine Russell versus Alberto Puello, not a bad fight, 12 rounds junior welterweights. Carlos Adames versus Terrell Gausha, 12 rounds middleweights. Also, June 15th in London, and I want to tune into this one if I can find it. We got to find out what channel this is on, Beeb. June 15th in London, Chris Billiam Smith versus Richard Rapore. What is it? Ryakapore?
Richard Riakpor.
Riakpor. I was way off.
I actually like Richard Riakpor a lot. I think he's really good.
You think he beats Billiam Smith?
I think he's going to win, yeah.
Okay.
I think he's going to win.
Isaac Chamberlain versus Jack Massey, 12 rounds cruiserweights. Now, the one I want to tune in for, the one I want to see, Ben Whitaker versus Awaretz Ezra Arenyeka, 10 rounds light heavyweights. Ben Whitaker is being billed as the next Prince Nassim for the light heavyweight division. He's got an awkward style. There's no other person you can compare it to except for Prince Nassim Hamed. I cannot wait to see him. He's undefeated. He's 9-0, 7 knockouts, I believe. He throws punches at odd angles.
You like watching him fight?
I do. I do. I can't get enough of him, man. I really can't. He's really good. I like watching him because I like Nassim. You know what I mean? I don't know that this guy is the next Nassim, but I think he's going to be fun to watch. But I think my personal opinion, and I said the same thing with Hamed. I said, when he runs into a guy that just boxes, that does all the basics very well, he's going to have a problem. And he sure enough did.
Those fights, I believe, are going to be promoted by Boxer. So they should be on Peacock. And in the UK, they'll be on, I think, Sky Main Event, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, beautiful. So they'll be on Peacock.
So and Whitaker, who's Ben Whitaker promoted by?
I believe he's promoted by Ben Shalom, Boxer.
Oh, so he is in Boxer. Okay.
Yeah, Ben Shalom is the guy that runs Boxer. I think he owns Boxer. He's the promoter of Boxer.
Yep, Ben Shalom.
He's the face. Right. He's the face of Boxer. So yeah. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think Richard Riakpor did beat Billiam Smith once before. This I think is a rematch as well. So it was a pretty close fight the first time they fought. So this should be interesting.
Yeah. And Tony Yayo says, how much is Prime pay-per-view? Probably about $80.
Yeah.
Probably about $80 would be my guess.
Yeah, Richard Riakpor beat Billiam Smith by split decision. So
yeah. Robbie will probably know. We'll bring on Robbie in a minute. He'll know how much that is. Prime Video. So let's go back to the main event here. You don't seem too impressed with Ben Whitaker. How dare you?
Yeah. I don't dislike the guy. Don't get me wrong.
Sounds like you do. You're putting off that vibe, that dislike vibe.
Lois, get the meeting with HR. This guy's harassing me. But yeah, I don't know. I think he's. Think about Nassim Hamed was. I just
original.
Yeah, it was original. I think
it was
he did
original.
Yeah, this is kind of too much like a. This guy's, for me, is a little bit too performative. Like with Prince Nassim Hamed, he was just that guy is often imitated. He just can't be duplicated.
It's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough.
So.
You know, you first time you see things in your lifetime. You know, I don't think we're old enough to see the first time people saw Muhammad Ali.
Yeah,
where he's dancing and he's moving and you can't hit this guy. It's just odd. But you see guys like Mike Tyson, or you see guys like Roy Jones Jr. Like the first time I saw Roy Jones Jr., it was like, what in the world am I watching here? Yeah. And the first time you see Nassim Hamed, you're like just blown away that this guy's winning these fights.
You know what else too is Prince Nassim Hamed did it against everybody. This guy's only doing it against guys who he's levels like they're putting him in there with guys that obviously he can beat, and he's going over the top like taunting stuff. So.
Yeah, but so did Nassim. I mean, Nassim did the same thing.
But he was doing it against guys who were really good fighters. He was showboating against.
Biggest guy he beat was Kevin Kelly. Kevin Kelly, the Flash.
He beat Tom Johnson too.
But Kevin Kelly was one of those guys at the time that was for real. He was the first that was his first big challenge, I think. That was Nassim's first big challenge.
Yeah.
Danny Drew says, what do we think of Milk Dud getting an award from the boxing writers?
Whoa.
Who are you talking about? Tim Bradley?
Whoa.
I'm assuming Tim Bradley.
Yeah, Tim Bradley.
Tim Bradley sucks. I can't stand Tim
I like
Bradley.
Tim Bradley as a fighter, and I think he's a good guy. Like I've interviewed him before, a couple times. He seemed like a really nice guy.
You know what? I didn't like him as a fighter either. I like him as a fighter. I didn't think so. And you know why? Because he wouldn't cop to that Pacquiao loss. You know he lost that fight. Everybody knows he lost that fight.
Show some respect.
He lost the fight. Come on, stop it. Same way Sugar Ray Leonard lost the fight. He lost the fight.
You're almost as bad with Tim Bradley as you are with Dubois. I think Tim Bradley and Dubois.
I don't know who Dubois. Who's Dubois?
Daniel Dubois. Those are your two.
That's the guy that quit in that fight. You talking about that dude? How?
Please. That retina was pulling off the back of his eye. You got to give him credit, man. He had to be able to see so he can continue his career. Why do you want people to go blind for?
Stop it.
Hate when you say that about Daniel Dubois.
What's the matter with you? All right, let's talk about it. Gervonta Davis, Tank Davis versus Frank Martin. Beeb, am I the only guy on the planet that gives Frank Martin a shot here?
Yeah.
That was quick.
Yeah. I don't. And
you don't think?
I'm gonna say something that I hate saying. I'm gonna cop to this.
All right.
There's a few fighters that I actually openly root against to lose. And I just don't like Tank Day. I just don't think I don't think he's a good person. I don't like him.
Why? What did he do that was so bad?
When he hit that woman.
Oh, you can't forget him. You can't forgive him for that.
And the woman was crying and she was hurt, right? And I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. Obviously, he probably didn't know she was pregnant at the time when he hit her. But she looked him in the eyes, tears streaming down her face, right? And then just drives off and leaves her there. That's one thing I don't like. Then I'm seeing him like video footage of him, like a guy was he was waiting for the phone booth or something. And he punches this guy in the stomach for because the guy was like taking too long on the phone. I saw video footage of that. Then I'm seeing him drag women by the hair or grabbing them by the shirt and dragging them. Then he's beating up his baby's mamas and stuff. And then he's being interviewed. He's being interviewed, right? And they ask him, Don't you ever look forward to fighting guys like Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez? No. What's to like about this guy? There's nothing to like about this guy. Adrien Broner's another guy. Adrien Broner's another guy I root against.
What are you talking about?
Harassing people at
that Uber driver?
Harassing Uber drivers, cashiers.
Oh, stop it. That was funny. The Uber driver, you saw the Uber driver tape. That was funny.
Talks to people like shit all the time. It's just bad. These are bad people, man. I'm sorry.
Well, I can tell you this. That's not the Adrien Broner I know. How about that?
You can keep the Adrien Broner you know.
Boston. Maybe in Boston, that's how people treat each other, but not in Ohio.
There's another guy that I don't like is Teofimo Lopez. That guy is just on another planet.
He really is on another planet. Isn't
he just aggravates me. But I at least respect him because he fights really good fighters.
I agree.
He doesn't, so I got to give him credit. I don't like Broner. I remember. Broner.
Yeah, he did say that. He did say that he was going to shoot cops.
Yeah,
he also said in there he was wanted. He got away with murder or something like that. He's stupid.
And then he goes, and then he's closing in on 40, and he's still wearing his fucking pants hanging off his ass. Who the fuck does that?
I do that. It's a big thing in Ohio. I do. I wear my jeans low. Don't worry about it. All right. That's how I dress.
It's like.
All right. So you don't think Frank Martin has any chance? His boxing skill? Really?
I'll be rooting for him though.
No, nothing really for real. You think he's getting K'd? He's getting K'd or what? Or he's just losing the decision.
He's getting stopped, and I hope I'm wrong. I want you to come on here next week and say, "Beeb, I fucking told you so," and I'll go like this. I don't want that guy to. I root against that guy. He's a bad seed.
What am I seeing? Why does he have no chance here? Solid boxer, very good boxer, by the way. In fact, I think he's a better boxer than Davis. I think he's a better boxer fundamentally than Davis. Is he quicker? I don't know about that. Is his feet quicker? No, I don't think he's quicker hand-wise. I think Gervonta's quicker hand-wise. Gervonta's got great angles. He's got good defense, but I don't know, man. Why is it? What do you see that I don't see?
He's not the greatest defender in the world, right? That's one thing. He's
Okay.
not the quickest guy on his feet. That's another thing. Not the quickest guy with his hands. He's a bit predictable sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And that's a recipe for disaster against a counterpuncher like Tank.
Yeah.
And he likes to mix it up on the inside. He's gonna go right to Tank and try to grind it out on the inside with Tank. And you know what this is gonna end up being? Go back and watch that Leo Santa Cruz fight with Tank. Remember that fight?
I thought that was a good fight up until Cruz got hit.
Okay.
He got clipped in that 7th round or whatever. Yeah.
It's going to happen again next week. It'll be a very similar fight. Maybe worse.
Yeah.
Because one thing Santa Cruz does have, quick hands.
Yeah.
Martin, not so much.
Aaron Daly, you're on. What do you need? As far as a super chat versus pie bet, B, what are we getting here? Because I'll take a pie bet on this one. Benavidez is smashing.
He's picking Bosniak over Benavidez.
Smashing Gavasik.
I'll let you take that one. You want that one?
I'll take it. What's super chat? You tell me the super chat, Aaron, and we'll bet on it. Tell me the super chat, or you tell them the super chat, B. What do you think?
Whatever you can afford. I mean, we know it's trying times.
Yeah, it's inflation.
I mean, we've tried to raise money for the Robert Herrick pay-per-view fund. I mean, so you give us a super chat, we'll Robbie's got to buy all these pay-per-views.
Super chat. Yep.
I was talking to Mrs. Herrick the other day because of all these pay-per-views he's buying. They haven't been to Applebee's in about a month, 6 weeks even.
What's the matter with you?
He's canceling, taking Mrs. Herrick, his mom, to Applebee's. He used to do that every Sunday. That's off the table.
True.
Off the table.
Off.
So let's put that back on the table and let's donate to this pay-per-view fund for Robert Herrick, please.
Now listen, I don't think that I don't know if Frank Martin wins the fight or not. But I'm giving him a chance. He's definitely a live dog here. I think he's a live dog here. And I don't know that he wins the fight, but again, I think he has a chance. I think I'll even bet on Frank Martin. Because those odds are crazy.
And I'll be rooting for you.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what.
I want you to say I told you so next week.
Yeah.
I don't like that guy. I root against him. And
10 pounds, Aaron Daly, you're on.
And I'm sorry. I shouldn't be like that. But I will accurately call fights and I will accurately score his fights.
Yeah.
I just don't want him to win.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, man. It's Reese Mack says he said he might go night, but he has to fight in and out. And I agree.
Do that because he's going to get caught up in an exchange on the inside. He's going to get caught with one of those left uppercuts and he's done. It's done.
We'll see. And Tank does very good body work too.
Tank is a good fighter, man. I got to give him credit. He's an excellent fighter.
And I tell you what,
excellent fighter.
He is fast. He's a lot faster than I actually gave him credit for. Prior to that Ryan Garcia fight, I didn't think he was as fast as Garcia. He was faster than Garcia. I thought he was definitely fast.
Garcia was a little flat in that fight.
Yeah, he wasn't crazy Ryan. He wasn't, listen, whatever Ryan's doing right now, he needs to keep it. Everybody says he's going crazy. He just got arrested. Good. Keep that edge. Keep it going. Do something stupid. Go jump off go cliff diving or something stupid. Listen, he needs to go to cockfights, drink, whatever you need to do to keep this edge. He needs to do that. All right. That's it. Period. End of story right there. That's what I'm telling you. All right, Beeb. I don't think there's any question about this next fight. David Benavidez, Alexander Gvozdyk. I don't have any doubt that Benavidez is walking right through this guy.
Now, this is one that could be a tough one because Gvozdyk can fight. Go back to that Better Be fight. If he's 70% of what he was in that Better Be fight,
Gvozdyk's getting dusted.
But with that being said, I am saying Benavidez is going to win that fight. but this one could be tougher than you may think, in my opinion. At least.
No, he's walking through him. It's not going to be tough at all. And I'll tell you what. He's lost to Beterbiev. Yeah, Gvozdyk lost to beat Adonis and then lost to Beterbiev. I get it. And Beterbiev's considered the cream of the crop right now. I think in that division, it's Bivol is the cream of the crop. I don't think
a lot of people agree with you.
And we'll see. I think Benavidez beats either one of those guys. I think Benavidez is the guy right now. And he needs to screw Canelo. Canelo's not going to fight him, and that's okay. Do your own thing. Because he could be just as big, if not bigger.
And I hate to say this, he's got to leave PBC, man, because these guys are just not.
I agree.
You got to get out of there, man. Just got to get out of there. I mean, you got Canelo over in PBC right now, and you can't even get a fight with Canelo. So what else is there left for you over there?
And he's in the same promotion, you know what I mean? So and he's not. Benavidez, can he go down to 168? I think he can go to one. He said he could go to 168, but he couldn't go to.
Well, you know what I'm interested
160 because they wanted Crawford and Benavidez. That was the story.
I'll tell you what I'm interested in, and I'm curious if this plays out. If he does beat Gvozdyk, he's going to be given an option by the WBC to go back down to 168. They said, and keep his. They're going to allow him to keep both interim titles. I'm curious to see if this Benavidez fight with Canelo happens in December. That's what I'm curious to see.
No, it's not going to happen.
Maybe I'm crossing my fingers and I'm wishing on a star here.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
They're in fantasy land. This fight is gone. He doesn't want to fight. That's it. Listen, I mean, you can draw a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, right?
That's true.
That's the thing. I mean, how much money? Canelo talking about $200 million. I don't want to see that fight for $200 million. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm anybody, would I put money down for that? Even if he gets $200 million, I'm not sure he even still takes that fight.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I want to be wrong.
And he doesn't. I'll tell you another thing. He doesn't like the level of disrespect that he showed him, that Benavidez has showed him. He doesn't like that.
Should that matter?
It shouldn't.
I mean,
but it does. And you know what? I don't even know if it does. I'll be honest with you. I don't even know if it does. But that's the reason he's saying why he doesn't want to fight.
I mean, I get disrespected every week, but I still come back on here.
Right.
I mean, that's
right. He's got a thick skin. Don't be a baby. You know what I mean?
It comes with the territory, man.
You know what? When I get a letter from Lois on Monday saying, "Hey, don't do that again." What are they going to do? Get rid of me? Beeb Enterprises? Huh? What are they going to do?
Okay, we can't get rid of this kid, man. He's got an ironclad contract, man.
I'm like herpes, man. I keep coming back.
Whoa!
All right. Philly Drew, thank you so much, my friend. Upset alert coming. Gvozdyk winning.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting. What would we? Let's check the odds for that fight.
All right, let's go to DraftKings.
Go to DraftKings and check the odds for that fight.
You know, I'm heading to DraftKings.
I go to you go to DraftKings. I'll go to FanDuel.
You going to FanDuel? Let me check it.
Let's see what we got here for odds, man. I want to look at the tank. I want to look at the tank fight too.
All right, I just brought it up. Ben Whitaker, by the way, is a minus 4,000.
Well, that's what I'm trying to. I mean, at this stage,
Reactpour is a favorite also.
Yeah, Reactpour should win that fight.
Yeah, David Benavidez minus 650 over Gvozdyk.
Yeah, it's a big one.
That's huge.
Let me see what I got.
Real Matias minus 650. Davis minus 700 over Frank Martin is a plus 450.
Wow. Did you say Ben Whitaker's a minus 4,000 on DraftKings?
4,000.
He's only a minus 2,000 on FanDuel.
Yeah, well, he's a minus 4,000.
Richard Reactpour is a minus 245.
Yeah, I got 225 over here.
Okay, it's so funny how each site has different.
David Benavidez minus 650.
Wow, Carlos Adames is a minus. Oh yeah, so Benavidez is a minus 700 here.
Yeah.
What's Tank?
700.
Yeah, he's a 700. He's a minus 700 here too.
Yeah, and Frank Martin is a plus 450.
Let me see what the.
They don't have it yet. Yeah, they don't have.
They have nothing. Well,
yeah, they don't have it yet.
we have
Starts in
method.
6 days. Yeah.
We have method of victory here. Javante Davis by KO is a -175.
Yeah. See, I don't even have that.
Yeah.
I've just got the money line right now.
Yeah. So
they haven't posted that yet. As the fight gets closer, they'll put it in there.
yeah, I like.
Ben Whitaker's the same way. They don't have anything for him.
Yeah, I like FanDuel a little bit better than I use FanDuel more than DraftKings.
I like them both. I like them. I find myself using DraftKings more. I don't know why, but just
you like DraftKings. I know that you like DraftKings.
Yeah, and there's no real reason for it because they're both the same. Do you know
ESPN has a betting site too? They have a betting app too.
Yeah, I don't like that. They shouldn't have that.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of to me, it's a conflict of interest.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how they have.
They
don't have as good as lines as FanDuel and DraftKings though.
Yeah. All right. Let me go into this before we get to the calls. Just a couple notes here, and then we'll get into it. Ryan Garcia arrested for felony vandalism. Garcia said on social media that he's been distraught by his mother's recent breast cancer diagnosis. And TMZ reported that police conducted a welfare check on Garcia at the hotel Wednesday following a report from one of Ryan's family members. Apparently, Garcia trashed the hotel room and the hallway. Dude, grow up. Seriously.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Grow up, my friend. Like, come on. Are you for real? Grow up. But then the promoter side of me says, hey, if this guy, whatever.
Remember Motley Crue, that rock group Motley Crue?
Yeah.
They used to trash hotel rooms all the time.
Yeah, right.
I don't want to condone it, but I mean, no one really got mad at Motley Crue when they did it.
I'm just saying, they are Motley Crue, you know. Garcia and Haney not paid. Golden Boy responds to allegations that Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney have not been paid for the April 20th fight. They just put out a statement. They say basically it's going to take some time with the pay-per-view and everything like that to settle out, which they should both know.
I guess they got their guarantees, but now they want their pay-per-view back in.
Right.
And you don't snap your fingers and get that. That's not instantaneous.
Yeah, I get it. All right, let's go to Robert here. Let me bring him on. 530, you're live. Robert.
Robbie.
Hello, guys. How are you? First of all, Joe, the Richard Reactor fights and Ben Whitaker fight. You're right. They'll all be on the Peacock.
I told you
the only thing I don't like about Peacock is it's hard to find out what time they come on. So you just have to keep checking. But it should be like Saturday afternoon around.
Who do you usually call to get the times? Who do you usually call to get the times, Robbie?
I checked with the beat man. He's on top of it. He's good. So, that's gonna be a good card. And Reactor and Willem Smith, they fought in 2019, and it was a very close fight. And I expect something similar. But Joe, I think you're right. I think Reactor will win that fight. And I'm looking forward to seeing Matthias on Saturday night. That should be
that's a good fight, huh, Robbie? That's a good fight.
Also,
those two styles, man. That's going to be a great fight to watch. Let me ask you this, Robbie.
Yes.
Do you see a path to victory for Frank Martin in this fight with Tank Davis?
In 2 words, fuck no. I don't. No way.
Come on, don't disrespect the kid like that. He's got a lot of experience.
Your opinion. That's all he needed. He was going to come on here and say whatever.
I mean, Eric, the guy can think for himself. He's a lot older than both of us. He has a wide history following.
Said a lot older than both of us.
So show the guy some respect.
I hate to admit it. I'm going to be 60 this year.
How about I'm the baby of this group? How about that?
That's right.
Robbie and I can go walk into Dunkin' Donuts and get a coffee for 10 cents. That's how old we are.
That's right. That's right. And Joe, it's interesting. More and more people are leaving PBC because last night during the undercard of the ESPN thing, Mark Kriegel interviewed Milnecki because he left PBC. So,
I'll be honest. I think that
more more.
They let him go. I don't know for a fact. I don't know what happened, but clearly they didn't renew Milnecki or whatever. But Milnecki didn't have a promoter either, or who was he?
No one really has no one has a promoter over there. You got Tom Brown as that.
Yeah.
As the he's
I think if I'm all Premier Boxing Champions people, I think I'll leave and go to promoters because look at the way Prime has done things. They had a pay-per-view in March. They had a pay-per-view in May. Now they're having one in June. They're probably not going to have another one until Canelo decides he's going to fight Edgar Berlanga in September. If you're on that side of the street, you're not going to get very many fights.
You're right.
It just is, I mean, you have to go. As much as I don't like the guy, you have to go with people like Oscar De La Hoya. He'll get you fights. May not be the fights you want, but he'll get you fights. Eddie Hearn is a much better promoter than Oscar De La Hoya. I mean, you got to start going to people that can promote and get you fights. They do a terrible job over there at PBC. It's just awful.
They don't do a good job over there.
Chad Fletcher, thank you so much. He said no more Crapplebees for Robbie due to Bidenflation. There you go. Robbie, Tony Ayo says that you seem like you would be a Caitlin Clark fan. Are you a Caitlin Clark fan?
She's a good basketball player, but I'm not going to sit down and watch that. No.
Does Mrs. Herrick watch the WNBA, Robert?
That's rough.
No.
The leading scorer in college, Robert, ever.
That's correct.
Male or female?
She is.
You don't give her any respect.
That is correct.
Robbie, what about the Celtics, Robbie? Robbie, what about the Celtics? What about the Celtics, Robbie?
I'm looking for. I'm looking forward to another Celtic beatdown tonight. That's what I'm looking for. They're going to beat Dallas down.
I don't know, man. That guy Luka's really good. We had 30-some points the other night.
Doesn't matter, man.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It didn't do them any good, did it? They lost by 18 points. So
wow.
Tell him, Robbie. Tell him, Robbie.
Wow, he's on the Boston tip now.
It's not like those Cleveland Cavaliers, man.
Boston's gonna roll. Boston's gonna roll through this series. And let me comment on the ESPN stuff. Number one, both Shushu Carrington and Xander Zayas are still developing. I hate ESPN because they're trying to make these guys out to be, superstars. Xander Zayas is only 21 years old. Give the kid a break. Another 2 or 3 years maybe before he's ready for the kind of fights that you think he's ready for. I mean, yeah, he beat Patrick Teixeira. I give him all the credit in the world because he dominated the guy. Not every fighter is capable of going in there and knocking everybody out.
It's only 21, like you said, Robert. Like, what were you doing when you were 21? You were out getting drunk and going to fucking wild parties back when you were 21.
It's true.
This guy's out here.
That's correct. I was.
This guy's out here winning fights.
I was. But Tim Bradley and those people over at ESPN, they're so desperate for the next superstar. That's all they're worried about. I don't know. Leave the kids alone. Let them fight.
There you go. There you go. All right, Robert. We're gonna put you on hold. We're gonna keep on the line. Stay on the line.
Okay.
Get him out of here.
Give him the hook. Is that what you said? You're such a douche. 760. You're live.
So did you think about it, man? I gave you a week to think about it. You just let the dude get on there and talk for a good hour. Did you decide or what? Is he going to be on?
What are you going on about? What are you going on about? What about
Ryan, please.
Rob, I told you guys to put him back on. Hey,
how are you wasting your call on this?
No more, please.
How are
then
you
wonder
wasting
why
your
you get hung up
call
on
this?
Man.
You want to sit here and waste your call. You want to waste your call.
Just make him a co-host.
Being an agent for Robert Herrick. You want to be a PR person for Robert
I actually
Herrick, man.
sometimes, you know what?
I thought you were a
Gee,
truck driver.
sometimes,
Now you want to be a
you got
PR
some
person for
knowledge.
Robert
You
Herrick,
got some
man.
knowledge on you.
How much is this guy paying you, man?
Hey,
How
look,
much is this guy paying you, man? Is he giving you
Look,
3 weeks
man,
vacation? What's going on
He's
here?
sending Robert. He sending Brian free shirts now.
Listen,
What?
Eric, let me explain, man. I'm gonna just break it down. Why
Really gonna
Frank
waste his time on
Martin
this?
has a shot? I'm gonna break it down, okay? Because for one,
Finally, he's talking some
Tank,
sense.
it's been over a year. It's been over a year since he fought, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
just
it's been a while.
You hear what I'm
Coming off-
saying?
Yep.
Okay, it's been over a year. Okay.
Wonder
So
why.
he might be it might be some ring rust. It might be something. I don't know. He might. But another thing is, you know,
I'm hearing a lot of mites. I'm hearing a lot of mites. What is mite? I might hit the lottery tomorrow, right? I may walk into a bar and meet Miss America, and we may go home and get married like 5 years. There's a lot of mites.
Miss America?
Okay,
I don't live my life on mites.
Right? This isn't a mic, right?
Is she gonna be
Eric,
like? I'm just saying. I'm still on the
Tank
Miss America thing.
Eric.
Yeah.
Okay, Eric. Let me just talk to you real quick, homie.
Yes.
Come on, OG. Let me holler at you real quick,
Yes.
man.
Oh, OG now you want to
OG.
kiss his ass.
Would you
Now you
quiet
want to
down,
kiss his
Beeb,
ass.
and let him talk? You're always trying to rush him off the phone.
Beeb, you a triple OG, okay?
Don't
You
even
got
worry.
a
I
little
don't.
bit, you know, you got
Come on,
another
don't even worry
the
about
O.
it.
You feel me?
Old
But
G
look.
is Beeb. All right. Don't even worry about that right now.
He's a triple OG. I'm talking to the OG right now. Now
The
look,
real
Eric.
OG.
Now
Yes.
we know Tank starts off slow, right?
Yeah.
He do start off slow. He has slow starts. And not only that, he's been, when it comes to like rounds, it's been times where Tank will be losing a fight and he'll get the stop, but still it's been fights where he might be down on the point. So that's why I'm thinking, hey, man, Frank Martin got a chance on me. You know what I'm saying? I think if you got something dropping on Frank Martin, you know, I think it's going to go 12 rounds, to be honest with you. And he could possibly get a decision over Tank just because of the time. And I would just give him the edge because of the problem with this layoff Tank has. You know what I'm saying?
I hope you're right, Brian. I hope you're right.
Frank Martin got a chance, B.
I wouldn't be disappointed. Believe me, I would not be disappointed.
Factors, though.
I would not be disappointed if Frank Martin won.
I wouldn't be surprised if Tank win. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if Tank won, right? But these are reasons why I wouldn't be surprised if Frank Martin won, just because of those reasons that I said. He started off slow.
Right.
Oh, and the last thing, Frank. One more thing too. Frank Martin is a southpaw, right?
Yes. They're both southpaws, Brian.
That's it too.
There's no advantage then.
He's a southpaw, homie.
They're both southpaws.
He's a southpaw. He's a southpaw. It's still, if a person is so used to going up against orthodox and they still haven't went up against too many southpaws, it's still the same. It's still like a person, the orthodox.
They're both in the same position. They're both southpaws.
Let him make his point.
Hey, it could. Hey, look, homie. Calm your ass down, homie. Golly. You don't even like this motherfucker. Look at you.
You don't even like it.
Hard. He's
going
hard for him. He
riding him like Seabiscuit over here.
Hey, hold on. Wait a minute. He was like,
saddle up and ride.
I don't like Tank. Why?
Yeah.
Because Tank looked at her right in her eyes. And
what's the matter with you?
He's just a bad
Brian,
person.
you're a father, Brian. You're a father and you have daughters.
I asked you one time. I'm to jump in, man. Beeb, I can't let you take this kind of punishment.
I asked him one
I can't
time.
let you take this kind of punishment.
I asked him one
it's
time
over.
on the phone.
Brian, we gotta go. Brian, we gotta go. Listen, man, I gotta pull him off for you. It's over with.
One time
listen, I can't. I can't let it happen.
I asked him. I go, Brian.
It's over with, son.
You ever let your
daughter,
had
a chance. You just had him.
I said, will you ever let your daughter? Now. I said, will you ever let your daughter date Tank Davis? You know what he said to me?
Stop.
Hell no. So now all of a sudden,
his daughter's like 5 or something like that. You know what I mean? Of course not.
No.
What's the matter with you?
His daughter is dateable age. She's 18 years old.
Stop it. What's the matter with you? Listen, you can't take that much punishment. I am not going to allow it. All right, you're my co-host. I need you healthy. I need you here for next week. Listen,
we can't condone what Tank Davis did.
Listen, stop it. All right,
We can't
you
condone
lost.
what Tank
It's
Davis
over with.
did. We can't condone that.
Nobody's condoning what Tank Davis did.
Can't condone that.
You're betting on Tank Davis. What do you care? Are you betting on him?
No.
You think it goes under? You betting on the under? I might bet on the under.
Probably bet him with
I might bet on Frank Martin and bet on the under.
probably bet him with the stoppage. I mean, he's a useful idiot sometimes because he can make me some money.
Right? That's what I'm saying. 516, you're live.
Yeah, what's up, guys? It's Jesse. Yeah, I'm doing the same bet. Beat Javante under. I think
That's what I said.
Frank Martin didn't even look.
That's what I said. That was my bet.
Yeah, but didn't Beat say that as well?
No, he didn't say that.
All right. So I'm doing the same bet. All right.
You got to straighten these guys out. I got to straighten your guys out all the time, Beeb.
Show the kid
What's the
some
matter with you?
respect. It's his call. It's his time. Let him burn. Cut the kid off for.
Yeah. All
Get
right.
him, Reek. Get him, Reek.
I'm doing the same bet, Eric. Javante under. Frank Martin didn't even look that great last time. When he put on Showtime, right? Wasn't that like match like real close? The guy was like 10-0 or something. And he was just happy to
Some people think he lost.
be on
Some
Showtime.
people even saying he lost.
Yeah, so just from that fight, and I think I actually have Frank Martin losing that fight. I'm not sure. I don't remember, but yeah, I don't think he's ready for Javante. And Javante is a beast, man. So I mean, and David Benavidez should win easy. It's a good showcase pay-per-view. I think the attraction last year was all these 50-50 fights and upsets that could happen. And, that's why people like Ryan Garcia so much. It's not even because he's so crazy. It's because, he goes after the A-class fighters. Javante, Devin Haney, and, he goes against people that he could lose against. And you don't see it too often, I wanted to say also, Xander Zayas, right? What Bradley was saying yesterday. Bradley kind of had a point there. If you're leading off the Puerto Rican Day Parade the night before the boxing match at the Garden, it has to be a pop, and he should have stopped that guy. And if you don't stop him, it loses a little bit of your superstardom. Would you guys agree with that?
I don't know. I mean, again, he dominated. He won every round. I think everybody would have liked to see a stoppage, but, that guy was a tough guy. He'd only been knocked out once. He only been stopped once, and that was, like I said, to Curtis Stevens. Was it Curtis Stevens he got stopped with, Beeb?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, Stevens is a murderous puncher. So there you go. All right, Jesse, we're going to move on.
All right.
Let's go to 718, the Bronx. What are you laughing at?
That's hilarious.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up?
What's up, brother?
Hello?
Yes.
We hear you, brother. Go ahead.
Hey, Raphael from New York.
Raphael.
Raphael from New York. What's going on, guys?
What's happening, man?
What's going on, man?
Nothing much. Just reaching out, and I feel like I'm the only one that feels like this weekend there might be an upset. I don't know if it's Benavidez or I don't know if it's Tank. I can see both reasons why it can go the other way. I think one of the last callers just mentioned all the obvious reasons, which I said, the lack of activity in the last 14 months from Tank might be a reason why that could happen. I can see him being rusty in there. And two, Tank really hasn't had a really good opponent in the last year or two. I mean, the only guy that the team that could probably box him a little bit was Hector Garcia, and he was too small for him to handle his punches. But we might see a little bit of an interesting matchup with Benavidez. That's also a toss-up. A lot of people are not giving Bostic any any chance, but that can easily be an upset, to be honest. The last thing that I wanted to comment on is Tim Bradley, man. I don't know if you guys watched the fight with the commentary or off, but he's pretty awful, man. He's very biased with commentary. It's very annoying. It's very annoying because, like, he be saying things that constantly contradicts himself, and like, you're a boxer, you're supposed to know all these things. And he's very biased when if there's boxers that he likes. Like, if you guys go back to that Shakur fight, he was blatantly just, the guy was doing everything wrong, and he was praising Shakur and all this. If it would have been someone else, he would have been, like, excuse my language, but he would have been shitting on Shakur. So he picks and chooses what he wants to do, who he likes, how he commentates. The reason that Xander didn't perform the way that he did, which I feel is practically Xander, the guy Teixeira, he's a vet. You know, once he knew that he wasn't gonna really win that fight, he just tried to survive in there. So at the end of the day, you're gonna get someone that's just gonna try to not to get knocked out. That's what it comes down to. But let's see. It's going to be an exciting weekend, so I guess interesting to hear how that goes.
There you go. There you go. All right, Raphael, we're going to get running. Thank you so much for your take. We appreciate it. All right, let's go back to the news. What?
Who's he cleaning his windshield? I kept hearing that screeching noise.
It sounded like a little puppy or something like that, didn't it?
Like someone was
some kind of animal or something like that.
He had a light and some guy was squeegeeing his windshield or something?
No, stop it. What's the matter with you?
Sorry.
Boots Ennis gets a new opponent. Cody Crowley was supposed to fight him, but pulled out due to an eye emergency. Who's Ennis's new? I read it. I just can't remember who it was.
Who is it? Oh shit. Let's find out. Let's see who that is. Boots Ennis, no opponent. I didn't think they had one yet.
I thought they did. I thought he signed. I thought they already got somebody in there.
I think they're going to announce it this week, they said.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong then.
I think so.
Yeah, could be. But I know Cody Crowley is out. Cody Crowley's an MMA guy, wasn't he?
I think so, yeah. He's
that dude from MMA, got that big upset and then got a couple more fights or whatever.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this is one thing I want to address too, is that Canelo refusing to fight Terrence Crawford. Tons of rumors. None of these are substantiated that Canelo Alvarez will not fight Crawford. Beeb, there was a tweet out there or something on social media, some social media post that just caught fire.
And everyone just ran with it. Because some guy put it on Twitter. It's amazing how just people can just say anything on Twitter and the stories get legs. It's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. Let's see here. Vito Minucci signed with Top Rank. Listen, man, ever since he left for Goosen, when he left Goosen because he couldn't train, something about he couldn't train in California, he was homesick or something like that. What do you do with that?
Yeah.
I mean, really, like, what do you do with that? It's not, I don't know, man, because Goosen has a lot to teach, a lot to learn from that guy, or that guy has a lot to learn from Joe, but, like, I don't know. I don't know. Super nice kid, no question, super nice kid. I just don't think he's going to reach that potential. And Jake Paul and Mike Tyson be scheduled November 15th. Why? Why are we still having this?
I don't want to.
Listen, if you got to pull out, you're 58 and you got to pull out for a medical, son, writing's on the wall here. And I don't think he needs the money.
I don't think he needs the money either.
I mean, he's got that weed farm or whatever he does, doesn't he have that like weed thing or whatever going on?
Yeah.
He's got to be making hand over fist over that thing. And no Ryan Garcia versus Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz versus Serhii Borachuk is next.
Sergey Borachuk, man.
Yeah. And Kelly King says thoughts on Danny Jacobs versus Shane Mosley Jr. Yeah, this is interesting because I like both of these guys, but I think that Danny Jacobs is a bit past his prime for this fight, man. But Mosley Jr., I don't know. To me, it's an entertaining fight. I'll be interested to see which way it goes, but I don't know. Don't know. Hamed, 111 from overseas. You're live.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
It's been a long time, man.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for calling.
How much is this? How much is this a minute?
Don't worry about it. Beeb Industries is going to cover it.
Do you want us to send you a stipend for this call or what?
Nah, I fell asleep during the card yesterday. Yeah, I wasn't planning on watching it live, but I just want to talk about the upcoming card with Gvozdyk, Benavidez, and Tank. I think the Gvozdyk fight is more of a arguably 50-50 fight because I was thinking I favor Benavidez slightly, but I was thinking if he couldn't stop Plant, and I don't think Andrade was that big of a super middleweight, and I don't think he's ever been a big puncher. I think he will get tested more against Gvozdyk because Gvozdyk's only been stopped by Beterbiev, and I don't know how hard Benavidez hits 175. I know he was a big puncher at 68, but like I said, he still didn't technically stop Plant. I thought Bayless was having a bad night in that fight, but even then, like, his resume isn't exactly stellar. On the eye test, he does look good, and I think he should beat Canelo, this version of Canelo, but we still haven't seen that fight. So at 75, I don't know. I think this could be possibly a risky fight. So if he wins, I would like to see him fight the Beterbiev Bivol winner. I don't know if Benavidez will actually move back down, but what do you reckon? If you have a choice and Benavidez does manage to actually win, would you rather see him fight Beterbiev Bivol winner or Canelo next? If there's a choice,
I'd rather see him fight Canelo.
I'd rather see him fight Bivol. I'm telling you, he washes Canelo. He washes Canelo. He's too big, too strong, can fight too well. Canelo's not beating him at that weight. He's just not. I don't care what weight they fight at.
But we still need to see that fight, didn't we?
Why?
Canelo, like I read that as well. No, but Canelo said he doesn't want to fight Crawford. Who else is Canelo gonna fight then?
Yeah, but we don't know that's necessarily true though. We heard that he's not going to fight Crawford for any. I know he doesn't. He said it's a lose-lose situation for him, but with Turki Al-Sheikh offering him X amount of dollars, I think that fight will happen. But that being said, I don't need to see the Benavidez fight. For what? We know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? We know what's going to happen.
He said, I understand that, but we heard Canelo say he wants $200 million for Benavidez. We haven't heard him demand a figure for Crawford. So that to me indicates I don't think he possibly wants that fight because the Charlo fight got criticized, and rightly so. And he's already fought guys that can, even if Crawford's better than those guys and more accomplished, he's not going to get much credit, and rightly so. I think it's a lose-lose situation because Crawford hasn't fought at the moment middleweight or super middleweight. He's going to have one fight, it looks like, junior middleweight. And then you're asking the guy to jump up he's asking for the fight and stuff, but he's going to go in 2 divisions south and fight Canelo. I just can't see Crawford winning that fight. If he pulls it off, then that'd be a big upset. But I think Canelo's running out of options because who else is at super middleweight? Morel's moved up. All you guys, Belanga, and I think there's that guy Mabili from Canada, but I don't think that fight's happening. Unless Canelo wants to fight the William Skull guy, but I don't know what's going on because I think the price bid got pushed back. But I think the Benavidez fight is his best option. It's just I don't know what Benavidez will want to do because if the Saudis offer him enough money to fight the Beterbiev Bivol winner, I think Benavidez will take that fight. I don't know if you guys disagree with that.
I don't know. Like I said, man, it's just to me, I think the Crawford fight's better. I think it's a better fight. I don't know that it's just as big, if not bigger than the Benavidez fight. But the Crawford fight will bring people from all across. Like I said, I think it's a casual fight. The Benavidez fight, I don't think a lot of people know Benavidez. I don't know a lot of people know Crawford either. So people know Canelo though. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, all right. That's
So there you go. All right, Hamed, we appreciate your call, man. 6 hours difference. I believe there's like a 6 hour difference between that, Hamed, and
I think 5.
wow.
It's 12 o'clock in the
Really?
12 o'clock in the night over there,
Really? You couldn't give him the extra hour, huh?
man.
You had to just take a dump all over him. Waited online, waited on hold. Put some respect on his name, all right? What's the matter with you?
He was holding on. He was like poking himself with needles, trying to stay up, waiting for you to freaking go to him.
What's the matter with you?
I mean, he was on the switchboard for about 7 hours waiting for you.
7 hours. Imagine his phone bill.
Fucking killing the kid.
410. I think this is Jerry.
This is Jerry.
What's
up, Jerry.
Jerry, you live? He's sleeping.
Fuck is he doing?
I don't know. Going once, twice, out.
And he's gonna cry we didn't go to him.
Hey, you didn't go to me, blah, blah, blah. All right. So, Beeb, last time here. So, would you take any bet before we get out of here? But would you take any bet for the Martin fight?
I just don't. I probably bet Tank to win by knockout.
By knockout. So would you take the under?
Is there even an over under right now?
Not now, but I would think the over and under would be maybe 7.
I would
Probably
just bet
8.
Well, if I could get better odds on the under, I would take the under. Yeah. I would take the under. I think Tank
right.
is. I'm guessing the over under will maybe be 7.5. I can't see it being more than 8.
Yeah. There you go.
So,
JC, we don't know the over under yet. It'll come out closer to fight time.
So I wouldn't shy away from doing the under.
There you go. All right, guys, that'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Joe Habib on X at jhabib1. Find our YouTube channel at ringsidereporterlive.com. You can find me on X at ringside73. And guys, we will see you next week.